Welcome to the Running High, a thrill ride of storytelling and music. I'm Tejas Desai, author of the Running High, second volume of the international crime trilogy, the Brotherhood Chronicle. And this is Greg Holt, Blues Hall of Famer and official fiddler for the NHL's Tampa Bay Lightning, along with his band, Fiddler and the Crossroads. For this event, I will be reading 5 passages from the book, The Running High, and the band will be playing musical interludes. The Running Hide is a uniquely and expertly plotted noir labyrinth of mesmerizing international settings, jaded characters, philosophical introspection, mysteries within mysteries, breathtaking action, and unexpected plot twists. Nero Salak's spiritually damaged private eye from Tejas Desai's previous novel, The Brotherhood, is surviving in a sinister underworld in Bangkok, Thailand, when he was sent to India to procure a business deal for his boss. But he doesn't realize he has been duped. Here is his arrival in India. Customs was a breeze. Nero didn't remember it that way. Last time he and his parents had gone through customs, his parents had to open their bags and talk their way out of a bribe. Outside in the arrivals lounge, dragging his bag, he searched for his cousin Valmiki, who he hadn't seen in many years. He saw his name on a sign, but the man holding it was darker than Valmiki. Val, Nero asked, approaching. Your cousin sent me, Nero by. My name is Manu. Nero trusted him for some reason, but he knew he should be careful. He followed the man to the parking lot where he placed his bag inside the trunk of a black car and got into the passenger seat. Why didn't Val come, he asked. He must work tomorrow morning. India is not like before. People must work. We're heading to Surat? Of course, Nero Bai. Please sleep. I will awake you when we get there. Nero stayed awake long enough to see the barrel fires and the Douglas squatting and crapping along the road, the shanty towns that continued to pervade the new India. He saw a couple of bonfires too, but fell asleep before he could process them. When he awoke, Manu was gesturing towards a restaurant with the veg sign. He must be hungry. Let's eat some of the best dosa in Gujarat, he said. We're here. In Gujarat, Surat is still further. They pulled inside the lot. Nero could see the stars bright in the night sky, and he felt the cool air that he had never associated with India, because he had previously come during the monsoon season. 2 truckers chewed and spit onto the road as they chatted to pass the time. Inside the restaurant, a single worker wearing a clean white apron took their order, which Manu gave with a quick flourish of Gujarati. Do they have different types of dosas? Nero asked. They have many dosas, good dosas. Eat it with your hands, you will see. Also, amazing chai. We might even have bhajia. They did. Nero was impressed. The dosa was simple and oily, but it was delicious, even though he passed on the chutney. The bhajia was spicy and refreshing. He could taste the chickpeas and the potatoes. He hadn't eaten Indian food in a long time. He always avoided the Indian restaurants in Bangkok. The chai reminded him of his mother, but he tried to repress the memory even as it arrived. He was so busy fighting his past that he didn't notice 2 burly men donning jhamas approaching the table. A friend wants to speak to you, one of the men with a slight beard told him gruffly. Nero glanced at Manu. Only a brief moment, Manu stated. You know these people, he asked. Don't worry, they won't hurt you, just a brief. Nero tried to rise and run, but the bearded man grabbed him by the neck and shoved him down. Then Nero saw a gun come out and rest against his heart. He was led to the back, past the kitchen, and towards the outhouse, until he was stopped and forced down a secret, creaking staircase, past some old boilers and into a plain room, carpeted with an unimaginative and dull red carpet. A mandir featuring the Trinity of Gods was displayed on a slightly elevated platform. Nero also saw a large picture of Ben next to some folded chairs. 2 more burly men stood by the platform. Between them sat a skinny man wearing owl glasses and dressed in a white dhoti. He concentrated on an open book. When Nero was stationary, flanked by the burly men, Awkwardly behind him, the skinny man raised his head, smiled, and closed the book. Nero, he stated, tapping the carpet, I have waited to see you for years. Come, sit. Who are you? Nero asked as he felt the brutal push on his back. He stumbled forwards and sat down, his feet behind him in the Buddhist manner. You know me? Why, I am your teacher. I am Bai. You're not my teacher, he said. Bai smiled. Your father told me you had lost faith. I do not blame you. The actions of a few apples have poisoned temporarily organization. We have recovered and the Brotherhood is better than ever. No corruption, no violence, only love, commitment to knowledge, truth, self-study, self-betterment, and social justice. I just had a gun to my heart, Nero said. That is a practical necessity. You see, there are elements that wish to poison us again, or more frankly, to destroy us. This is why I needed you to see you. I understand you are headed to see a man named Talim. Yes, he's a diamond merchant. I'm here to buy diamonds for my boss. He claims to be a diamond merchant. I have no doubt he sells some diamonds, likely smuggled or stolen. But he's also a terrorist. Yes, he has ties to some of the most heinous Islamic terrorists in India and beyond, even in Thailand. My father told you I was buying diamonds here, but how did you know? Nero, we have grown as an organization. We have our ways. We hear things, but we don't know all things. This is why we need you. Once we discovered you were visiting Talim, we knew that you are our best mole inside his plot.
Don't lie to me. Tell me, well, did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, and I'd shiver all night through. My girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, and I'd shiver the whole night through. Her husband was a hard-working man, just about a mile from here. His head was found in a driving wheel, but his body was never found. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me where sleep last night. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, and I'd shiver the whole night through. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me where did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine, and I'd shiver the whole night through. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me where did you sleep last night? Pines in the pines where the sun don't never shine, and I'd shiver a whole night through. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Having reunited with the Hindi religious organization, the Brotherhood in India, Nero must balance his loyalties between them and the criminal gang he works for in Thailand, the Dragons. Helping him is Australian drifter Rob, the long-haired, tattooed drug dealer and hired murderer, with a soft spot for fallen women. Here is his own mission from Bangkok to southern Thailand, where he meets up with one of the women and travels towards a meeting with some unsavory characters in Thailand's southern region. Rob drove all night and reached Phuket by morning. Normally he would have flown. He loved the view from an airplane as he descended. The crags appearing as if they emerged from the clouds themselves made him feel he was entering a heavenly place, though he didn't believe in heaven or hell or anything in between. No, as he explained to Sweta on his last trip to Phuket, lying in bed in their flat, the view was an illusion, but one he welcomed. It made him certain that Thailand was a place for him and anyone who believed that they could be of God, regardless of their past, to possess what they wanted within the bounds of pleasure. Australia or America need not apply. You want to compare the stuff with Oz? He said. Remember, I got you out of here. There. You work for them, she said. I didn't realize. The extent of it, I didn't know. Tell me, Rob, Sweta said, snuggling up to him closely. Why did you want to get out? I know for me, I was slave in Melbourne. But for you were free. Rob hadn't answered. He hadn't wanted to think about it. He had dressed and left, drank at a number of bars on Bangla, got a massage, banged a girl tight, had another round, banged the bar girl. He went back home to Sweta, lying next to her in the dark, trying to forget the past. But sometimes it came to him in flashes, and that's what happened on his drive down, all 12 hours or so, driving down Route 4 through random rains and fogs, even as he witnessed the beauty of Thailand's eastern coastline. In the darkness, he thought perhaps he had overestimated Thailand's pull, its seductive aura, just as he had once overestimated Queensland's. Nothing is anything but a contrasting accident of nature, a stimulated illusion meant to rise your expectations until a rug is pulled out under you and you plunge into the dung underneath. He'd escaped before. He was Australian. He could. He had lived in Europe, America, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Indonesia. Odd jobs, dead-end jobs, and occasionally muscle. Eventually he found something wrong, necessitating his departure. But he never forgot the people who had helped him or those who had sponsored him. When Nero had texted him about an opportunity in Thailand, he'd risen to the occasion. And he finally found a country he didn't want to leave. There's so many fruits here that you can never exhaust them. And for more than a year he had doubted this, until now. Yet, as the sun rose and he approached Phang Na, seeing those magnificent limestone crags perched against the clouds, contrasted against the white sand and crystal blue water of the beach, and the run-down town next to it, he realized his doubts had been silly. Even the ugliness of his actions, the fruits of the land and the people made his adventure and his life worth it. He parked in front of a restaurant. He was driving Duncan's car, a black sedan. He sat down at a table outside. A skinny man approached him, carrying a menu. Hello, Mr. Rob, he said. Prasad, how are you going? You got that menu for me? Yes, sir, Prasad said, handing it to him. Inside he found a slip of paper folded up. He put it in his pocket, looked over the menu, and ordered a southern dish, jang som and roti, along with some Thai coffee. A few tourists, led by a guide, entered the restaurant next door. It was while on tour of Phang Na from Phuket that Rob had met Prasad months ago. That was some good tucker. I really bogged in on that, mate, Rob said, after he had eaten his food quickly. I'm glad you have enjoyed, Mr. Rob, Prasad answered. Rob threw down some baht, drank the remaining coffee in one gulp, and got back into the car. A few kilometers down the road, he pulled over, took the paper out, and unfolded it. The directions had him go further south. That was closer to Muslim territory, of course. He left Phang Nga and continued to drive down Route 4 towards Krabi. Feeling sleepy, he was glad he had slurped down that coffee as it kept his eyes open. Maybe he should have dozed off with Sveta before going on his journey, he thought, but it was too late now. And anyway, he was expected.
I hear the train a-comin', rolling round the bend. I ain't seen sunshine since I don't know when, but I'm from Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps rolling on down to San Antonio. When I was just a baby, my mama told me, son, always be a good boy and never play with guns, but I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. When I hear the whistle blow, I hang my head and cry. Breakfast with folks eating the fancy dining cars, probably drinking coffee, smoking big cigars, and I knew I had it coming, but I knew I can't be free. But those people keep moving, and this tortures me. They freed me from this prison if that railroad train was mine, that I'd move along a little further down the line, far from Folsom Prison, that's where I'd like to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues, blow my blues, blow my blues. Way 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
Rob is duped too and goes on his own complex journey, balancing competing interests. Meanwhile, Nero has his own soft spot for an abused Thai woman named Apsara. Here they are discussing their own mortality. Nero motorcycled over to Klong Tui. He had never been to Apsara's place before. Rob described the general directions, but since street signs were either sparse or in Thai, Nero had to ask around for the bungalow before he located it. He parked outside and climbed the stairs towards the apartment that a small boy pointed to. When he reached the door, he knocked. Booba answered. She smiled, swaying her hip towards Nero. "What you want, baby?" she asked. "Apsara, is she here?" "Who is it?" Nero heard Apsara ask in Thai from the back. "It is my customer," Booba said in English. "You know one, Apsara. He wants some lady action." She put her hands on his shoulders. Nero smiled politely and moved past her. He saw Apsara eyeing him from behind a door, which she then shut and locked. "Get out!" Apsara screamed through the door. I don't want more. What are you talking about? Nero asked. Duncan wants to make sure you're okay. Another customer was here, Bupa said after she had closed the door. He was loud. Who? Nero asked. Thai man, many tattoos, Bupa added. Nero knocked on the door hard. Duncan sent me. Open up. He waited. She didn't open it. Look, if I walk out that door, I don't know who's coming next. He heard the door unlock. He opened it, entered quickly, and locked the door behind him. Apsara sat on a mattress on the floor. Her legs were drawn up and she had her arms wrapped around them. Her expression was blank. Nero didn't see any tears on her face. Are you okay? Nero asked. Apsara straightened her knees and turned her head. From the light of the ceiling lamp, Nero could see a red line across the bridge of her neck. He reminded me I can be killed, Apsara said. Everyone can be killed, Apsara. None of us are superheroes. I don't want to die, she said. Neither did I, but now, sometimes I feel like I am dead. Tell me, Nero, did you dream when you got burned? You told me you slept a long time. I don't remember that, Nero said, coming over and sitting by her. But I dream now. I never talk about it, but they haunt me. I see my old friends. They are dead? She asked. I guess. But they live on in my head. In the beginning, when I got here, I would dream about them a lot. I wake up and hear the Gayatri mantra and think I was in some alternative reality between sleeping and waking. Then I started working for Duncan and the dreams began to subside. Right after the night, it started again. I dream of my mother and my daughter, she said. I've not gone to see them in a long time. Nam says he will kill them too. When was the last time, he asked. It's not far. I am busy working. I need to pay off my debt and get money for them. But I don't know how much longer I can work. You're our best asset, Duncan says. You keep sending us info from Sumant Tabat's gang. Things are just tense because that tourist Bob Rob's going down to kill him. I don't know what to do. I know Bob from the old days. You know him? Apsara asked, surprised. Yeah, I'm not saying he's a friend, but I do know him. I guess sacrifices have to be made. More sacrifices. He noticed Apsara's eyes water. She touched his chest. Nero, Nam says I will be a sacrifice if Sumantapat finds out about me. I'm scared. Don't worry about that guy. I'll take him out myself if he comes here again. You are shaky, she said. I'm sorry, but you are. Then Rob will. We've got your back. Apsara swallowed. I'm sorry I said that. I know you will protect me. She leaned in to kiss him. Nero turned away and stood up. I'm sorry, I'm trembling, he said. You are nervous. It is okay if you are still awkward. It's not that, Nero paused. You remind me of someone. Who? A girl I didn't protect, someone I let die. Nero sat down again. Apsara took his face in her hands. I'm sure it was not your fault, she said. Yes, it was. I screwed her, I used her. I put her value over a life below my need to find out the truth. A lot of people died, but her death is on me. She haunts me the most. So you protect me, Nero. You be my hero, and she will go into heaven. She pressed her lips against Nero's. This time, he didn't avoid it.
Apple of my eye. I don't know when and I don't know why. You're the only reason I keep on coming home. Sweet pea, what's this all about? Don't get your way, all you do is fuss and pout. You're the only reason I keep on coming home. Like the rocket Gibraltar, I always seem to falter, and the words just get in the way. Oh, I know I'm gonna stumble. I try to stay humble. I never think before I say. Sweet pea, keeper of my soul. I know sometimes I'm out of control. You're the only reason I keep on coming home. Apple of my eye. I don't know when and I don't know why. You're the only reason I keep on coming home. Sweet pea, what's this all about? Don't get your way, all you do is fuss about. You're the only reason I keep on coming home. Unlike the rock at Gibraltar, I always seem to falter, and the words just get in the way. Oh, I know I'm gonna stumble. I try to stay humble. I never think before I say. Sweet pea, keeper of my soul. I know sometimes I'm out of control. You're the only reason I keep on coming home. Keeper of my soul. I know sometimes I'm out of control. You're the only reason I keep on coming. You're the only reason I keep on coming. You're the only reason I keep on coming.
Meanwhile, a storm is brewing in New York City where financiers, politicians, and mobsters plot to control a Long Island City land deal that ultimately can affect Neil's own designs in Southeast Asia. Here is a fallen millionaire returning home to the mansion he once frequented, now owned by another billionaire who had usurped a younger financier. Brendan Carty put his arm around Bob and guided him down the hall. "Let's go into the lounge," Carty said. "You remember it." They held that huge painting by John Singer Sargent that looks like Madame X, except the lady is wearing a red dress. Who knows who it is? Probably someone famous from that time, but I've never figured it out. They entered the room. Bob remembered the bar. It was well stocked. Lance came inside carrying a box and went behind the bar. Cardi made sure Bob sat on a green velvet cushioned seat made of mahogany. Then he put his arms, raising his left hand while fluttering over to the bar, holding the cigar in his mouth and waiting until Lance lit it with a match. And he blew out smoke several times before he spit out a small portion of the cigar, which he had apparently held under his tongue, into a brass saucer. He held up his left hand again as he spoke. Bobby, let me give you the gist. I don't know what brought you back. For whatever reason, you're still with Vishal's interests. I'm sure the Troglianis would love to chop you up into pieces. If you return to help that little weasel's cousin. But Bobby, you should be helping me. Someone stole your money. If Vishal's dead, as Lance tells me, then it might be his family members. Maybe they promised to give you back your cut if the Long Island State property went to them. I know it's your dream. I read your testimony that you wanted this cultural fairyland in that spot. So maybe your intentions are good. But let me tell you, once everyone knows this Patel is Vishal's cousin and shacking up with some blonde bimbo on the board, he's done. Then I can create your cultural fairyland. I can get your money back from the people who stole it. That's what I don't understand, Brendan. Why are you back? Why are you interested in the Long Island City development? Cardi laughed out loud. You don't see me as a beacon of progress. Am I a voice of the people or a voice of the divine? He laughed again. Bob remembered Cardi being pretentious and arrogant, nothing like this. Bobby, he went on, I know your origins are working class, 3 generations back of Irish immigrants. And I'm proud of my Irish background too. Hell, I've got an Irish name. I gave my kids Irish names, but one thing I'm not is Irish. My ancestors were Scotch-Irish, actually, Scots who lived in Ireland, the ones who came over early and built this country. Do you think I would sit around in Montana forever, riding horses across ranches and bucking heifers in boots? My people go way back, and part of a legacy. I had 2 trust funds and a whole lot of cash. Sure, I liked running a hedge fund, but I didn't need it. So I became lazy. I liked the parties. I liked showing off the yard, but unlike Vishal, I had some staking culture. Too much so that I began to trust the economy and the instincts of my workers, instead of thinking outside the box like Vishal. Give him credit. He learned what I taught him, and he applied what I hadn't. He saw my weakness, I didn't. He was the son of immigrants. He had nothing to fall back on. I felt bad for the investors who lost their money. I was ashamed, so I moved away. But I never lost anything. I had nothing to lose. It was like a circus to me. My territory had been taken over, and by who? Some uncultured, new money Korean? I let time pass, figuring he would fall on his own. You know, I believe in fate. I'm a big believer in it. The moment I brought him here and he looked around, amazed at the possibilities of this place, I knew he would one day own it. I even told him that. Isn't it strange how we purposefully stab ourselves in the foot, bringing in people we know can cause our downfall? Hell, must by nature cause it? Read history, witness your own life. That older wife who brings in the babysitter or secretary for her husband, even though she knows she can sense that she will be replaced. She does it anyway because this is the natural order of things and she must fulfill her role. She must facilitate the metamorphosis of her situation, the progression to destruction. Now look, a new money guy like Vishal, a hungry man, must by nature fall because he becomes too greedy. He makes the wrong friends, he bets on the wrong horses. And he knows he will. He might go to jail for securities fraud, he might die, but he must go. And men like me, even when we fall, we never die. We aren't in the papers, we don't live on lists. But we keep living, and we keep coming back, don't we? Lance handed Cardi his white Russian, and placed a tray of dark chocolate cookies on a table next to Macadam, along with a glass of milk. Good idea. Great lecture, Bob said, taking and sipping the milk. But Vishal's not dead.
trouble on the way. I see hurricanes and lightning. I see bad times today. Don't go around tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Don't go around tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Hurricanes blowing, I know the end is coming soon. I feel rivers overflowing, I hear the voice of rage and ruin. Don't go around tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise again. Don't go around tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise. Hope you have got your things together. Hope you are quite prepared to die. Looks like we're in for nasty weather. One eye is taken for an eye. Don't go around tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise again. Don't go around tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise again. Don't go around tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise one more time. Don't go around tonight, it's bound to take your life. There's a bad moon on the rise.
Nero's relationship with Manu, his driver, is one of the most poignant in the book. They start off as antagonists, but Nero's actions and the arc of the plot ultimately lead to Manu's loyalty. After the different threads of the narrative are resolved, here Nero concludes the book by assisting Manu and testing his loyalty, which will set the stage for the culminating volume in the trilogy, The Dance Towards Death. As they neared Mumbai, Nero realized he still had an hour to spare before the checkout counter opened at 5:30 a.m. for his 2:20 a.m. flight. Manu suggested a dosa place he had visited when dropping off Mr. Ghosh. Is it a trap like the last place? Nero asked. Bai is not there, Nero Bai. We can eat in peace. It was a small, dingy place. Most of the tables were free. The waiter was gruff and unshaven. He waved them towards a table against the window. but Manu asked if they could have a table next to the wall instead. The waiter waved again, speaking violently in Marathi. They did not have the manners of a five-star restaurant, but the dosas are the best I've ever had, Manu explained. You will see. Why always dosas? Nero asked. Can't we eat? We could have pizza, Chinese food, McDonald's, whatever you want nearby, especially in Mumbai, Manu said. But don't you want an authentic Indian dish before you leave for months? I remember having bad pizza in Navsari when I was a boy, so Indian is the better bet, he said. A dosa is better than Gujarati thali, but maybe they have uttapam here? Or idli sambar? Believe me, only the dosas are good here. Now look nearby. While you are in Thailand planning Diwali defense, I will continue your work here. My work? You mean the Brotherhood's work? Isn't it one and the same, he said. Nero chuckled. Manu, do you believe truly that I'm an Avtar? Manu nodded. Certainly, Nero bud. Then you wouldn't mind following my orders, even if, at times, they might seem contrary to the interests of the Brotherhood. Manu swallowed. What do you mean, Niralbai? Sometimes things aren't as they seem, Manu, and only an Avtar can truly discern truth. Otherwise, Krishna wouldn't have had to lecture to Arjuna the Gita. Manu nodded. Yes, Niralbai. He had to make Arjuna understand. And what did he make him understand? That killing his own family members was right because they were on Adharma's side? Sometimes violence is necessary to preserve Dharma, no? Of course, Manu said. And sometimes a course that seems wrong may ultimately lead to right. Think about all the times Krishna tricked people in his life for the right reasons. Remember how he fooled Duryodhana into wearing underpants when he went to see Gandhari, thus weakening his thighs for Bhim's mace? How he urged me to break the rules of combat to see justice done? There are too many examples to mention. Yes, Manu said. How God sanctioned a bloody war despite the death of great noblemen like Bhishma to see ultimately the just Yudhishthira rise to the throne? What are you saying, Niralbai? Manu asked. I am asking if I have your complete loyalty, Manu. There will be a treacherous road in front of us. You might not understand why I'm asking you to do something, but your absolute loyalty is necessary for the right cause. Are you willing to be completely loyal to me? Manu put his palms together. Yes, Niralbai, of course I am. You saved my life. You saved a village. May I kneel before you? Niral put his hands over Manu's palms. Not here, Manu. We need to maintain our social facade. Niral ordered the Rava masala dosa, Manu the Mysore masala dosa. And then while they ate and drank tea, Niral noticed something and asked Manu a question as he sat there shaking. Is this why you wanted to stop here? Niral asked, pointing to something written on the wall. Because these dosas are good, but not that good. Manu averted his eyes. I was too nervous to say anything, Niralbai. I didn't want it to be true. I hoped it was gone. I had seen it on my last trip here. I did not want to admit that Sita may be right. It is too shameful. This could be another Gayatri, Niral said. That is her number, Manu said. I wanted to cross it out when I saw it last time, but I could not touch it. What a shameful father I am. You came here because you wanted to believe you had dreamed it, Niral said. And in case you hadn't, that I would do something about it. Is that right? Manu nodded. I was hoping that you could advise me, Niralbai. How about this? I will call the number now. And if she speaks in a sexy way to me, I will tell you, and at least you will know. Manu swallowed. Whatever you think is best, Niralbai. Niral took out his cell phone. He dialed the number written on the wall. Whether she is doing it or not, she would be asleep now. He winked at Manu while the phone rang. After several rings, a groggy woman answered. Niral tried to don an Indian accent, but he spoke English since he didn't know Hindi. Hey, is this Gayatri? For a good time? She didn't respond at first, so he repeated it in Gujarati. Yes, baby, but it is late, she said, putting on a sexy voice to the extent she could. Do you want to come over now? Niral rolled his eyes and hung up. Manu looked intent. She cursed at me and hung up. She must get a lot of these calls. Manu smiled and laughed. See, I told you to relax, Nero said. There's nothing to it. Nero asked the waiter to borrow a pen. The waiter grumbled, but complied. Nero began crossing out the message. Why are you defacing my wall, idiot? The waiter screamed. Manu stood up. We are defending the honor of a great woman, you imbecile. How dare you allow people to write scandalous things on your wall? After crossing out the message, Nero was able to stop a fight. They didn't finish their dosas or their tea. They left the restaurant laughing. You have relieved my mind so much, Niralbai, Manu said. Or should I say, Lord? Never call me that, Nero said angrily. Did they call Krishna Lord in his time? They simply respected him as a wise equal. Manu put his palms together. You have done more for me than I deserve, even more than the Brotherhood. Thank you, Niralbai. Here's more, Nero said. He took the bag of diamonds from his pocket and held it out to Manu. What is this? Manu asked, taking it. A gift. A girl who turns down OBC benefits must need money. Sell them in Surat, and consider this a down payment. I will get you more when I can. Manu shook his head. This is too much, Niralbai. I don't deserve this. You saved them once before, remember? And you deserve more than you think. Believe me, Manu, the righteous will prevail if we follow the right path.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Grace that taught my heart to fear, grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. With amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Blind, but now I see. We've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun. We've no less days to sing God's praise when we first begun. With amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Blind, but now I see. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Blind, but now I see. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Thank you for coming, everyone. Thank you for listening if you're passing by. I'm born and raised in New York, so I love this city. I'm glad it's coming live again. Check out the Running High, check out the Brotherhood Chronicle, and thanks a lot to Greg Holt and the fiddler on the Crossroads Band. They were amazing. And I'm Tejas Desai. Thanks a lot for coming.